Hello, I'm delighted to be here today to introduce myself and share some insights into the exciting world of data management, marketing, and reporting. My name's James, and I currently work as an account manager at Plinc. You may have previously known us as Planning Inc., but we've very recently evolved into Plinc. We help our clients accelerate their customer data in whichever way they need to, whether that's upfront integration, customization of our tech, ongoing campaign support, one-off consulting, or really anywhere in between. I'm joined here today by Steve Moriarty, who is the head of customer data and insights at Crew Clothing. And I'm really thrilled to share our story of how we collaborated with Crew to deliver essential real-time insights using the Orbit dashboards during the most critical time of the year, Black Friday. And we've been working with Crew for a couple of years now, and Apteco's system has really been the foundation of the data-driven opportunities that we work with Crew based around. So I guess, what is the story of Crew's real-time data reporting dashboards? Now, the great story in this creation was actually really where the idea originated from. It was right here at the Apteco conference this time last year, funnily enough. And after a really great day of learning about the future of Apteco's products, we done what most people done, I think, that day, and just popped to the pub for a very quick drink and a bit of a debrief on the conference, just to kind of bounce some ideas around of what we learned on the day, and potential new ideas for additional projects over the next kind of year or so. As we're in the week of Black Friday, I'm sure you can really imagine the pressure on Crew's team to perform and report back on their data. During the conference, Steve took a really keen interest in the Orbit dashboards and discussed and expressed his concerns about how the business would really manage their reporting over the Black Friday week. At the time, they really struggled to forecast engagement and sales due to kind of unreliable historical data, legacy reporting tools that really weren't quite fit for purpose anymore. So it was really essential that we were able to put something together in a kind of limited time frame as a business priority. Seeing as we were already in the week of Black Friday, it was something that we really needed to turn around within 24 hours. So without such a solution, there was potential for missed opportunities during this critical week. The implications of not having a report like this were really quite severe. Steve is just going to expand a little bit more detail on kind of the implications of not having something like this.
Yeah, thanks, James, and thanks for setting the scene. So I'm Steve, head of customer insight and data at Crew Clothing. And one of the key functions when I first joined the business was kind of democratize data and make it more friendly for the business. And one of the big issues we had was silo data across the business, and especially on our busiest and peak periods. So last year, when we came to the Apteco annual conference, we looked at Orbit. Fascinated to see what was kind of going through the year, what was being developed, and the key one for us was kind of Black Friday. So if you think about Black Friday from a retail perspective, we talk about campaigns and product, and how we're going to execute and when we're going to execute, and we talk about this for months before and the weeks before and even the days leading up to Black Friday. But actually in day, what we didn't have was an in-day report where we could look to see if all this work had come to fruition. So the big kind of issue for us was always looking kind of the next day to see what happened the day before. So when we looked at this Orbit and Orbit Dash and the capabilities, we could see straight away that we could create a dashboard that would give us real-time metrics, real-time reporting, not just for e-com, but also for retail, but then also granular. And we could start to look at genders and categories and start to make in-day decisions rather than kind of post decisions. So this was a really important piece of work for us. And I'll pass you back to James.
Cool. Thanks, Steve. So I guess the following day, after understanding all that information, it was really, really important that we were aligning with Crew's priorities and were able to develop the dashboards so they were fit for their intended purposes. I'm sure everyone is very aware of the criticality of Black Friday week and leading up to Black Friday. So we really needed to make sure that we could turn this around quickly and make sure that everything in the report was in line with Crew's requirements. So it was really vital that we utilised the next day to turn around the reports within that kind of 24-hour period to enable them crew to meet their requirements. Creating the dashboards meant that the following day became a really, really great display of teamwork between Plinc and crew. It presented a really excellent opportunity to explore the Orbit dashboards and what they could offer the business. It served as a really good chance for us to test the live data feeds into the platform and also validate them against the customer base to ensure that the reports were accurate and reliable to use during Black Friday week. We collaborated with crew to understand what necessary metrics they would need and incorporate them in the dashboard. And we also needed to understand how they wanted these metrics presented. I guess before we move on at this stage, I just want to kind of clarify that for the purpose of this presentation, all of the data that you see from this point onwards will be based off dummy data, so it doesn't actually use crew's live customer base. So what followed from here was a series of ideas and updates within Orbit, where we created different bespoke dashboards for crew to review. I think the really great part of these dashboards is that they allow for easily digestible content to be reviewed like really, really quickly and adapted to crew's requirements. The interactive nature of the dashboards really facilitated some great back and forth communication with them to ensure that we were agreed on their expectations. So we reworked the dashboards a couple of times based off kind of feedback and what data points they wanted incorporated into the dashboards. So we utilized various forms of charts, graphs, metrics, and data points. So I guess this smoothly transitions us to the final product of the dashboards. So what we created was a real-time in-day dashboard where crew were able to track sales throughout the day. They were able to track the total spend throughout the day and also look at other metrics such as average sale value. I guess as the stores opened during Black Friday, customers then started flooding the stores. So this really proved as a great opportunity for them to look at the splits between how the sales would differ between online and retail. The data refreshed in real time, allowing for instant reporting. And we also included the functionality to drill down to channel and category specific reporting, which allowed for even more granularity to be shared across different teams, such as buying, merchandising, and the wider trading team. So it was a really exciting opportunity on the day to see how these updates came in real time and how it benefited crew across Black Friday. So I guess to summarize the dashboards, the report granted them access to real-time data metrics at any moment throughout the day. It enabled them to respond promptly to customer trends, whether that's on the online space or within their physical stores. The report served as a vital tool for responding to campaigns, enabling real-time agile adjustments throughout the day to capitalize on the daily trends. This proved vital for the CRM and marketing teams. It laid a really solid foundation for future advancements and pursuit of further opportunities. We're currently looking to rework the dashboards at the moment to provide even further insights for crew clothing over peak period. What I found most captivating about the report is how it can be shared business-wide. It can effortlessly be shared across teams, especially for people that may only want to understand the kind of top-level metrics. Steve stated that the real-time report allowed for accurate reporting and the Orbit dashboards proved crucial to the business. So I'll just hand back over to Steve one last time just to go into a little bit more detail of how they were perceived by the business.
Yeah, and I think what you've raised earlier, James, is a key point. How collaboration, so the grain of an idea, just sitting around having a drink, can all of a sudden become a business function within the busiest day of our trading year. So it was used, as you said, extensively across the business. But what it did for the first time was actually make us be super agile in the day, understanding which channels were working, which channels weren't working. We actually sent an extra email on that day just because we could see demand within using the dashboard to tell us if demand was wavering or not where we wanted it to be. But also it was used, as you say, across the business. It was used by every department to look and understand actually what Black Friday looks like, not just in day, but by hour. So it was a super functional and a great piece of work.
Thanks, Steve. So yeah, I guess that's it from myself and Steve. I'd like to thank him personally for supporting today and coming along to the presentation. I hope you found this really useful, everyone watching, and insightful, and hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.